Saturday morning, November the 29th. A couple of minutes late, but you're going to be fine. We're all fine. This is Coffee Talk. Get used to it with my new gig. Got to tuck that in. With my new gig, I'm going to be a couple of minutes late every day. So here we are. We are live 7 days a week at 8 o'clock ish. Talking, having a good time, hopefully. Listen, in the non-hurricane season months, we definitely go off the rails just a little bit. But I digress. It is an absolutely beautiful morning. It's a little chilly out again. Here's a live look at temperatures sitting at 53 degrees in Orlando, 48 outside in Leesburg. It's 46 in Ocala, 60s along the shoreline, and the breeze is making things feel comfortably cool, not as much as yesterday. And that's the big difference, right? The breeze is not biting like it used to be. So we've got that there. All right, a live look outside, see what's doing. Tower Cam Network with some clouds over top of us. Let's look around. That's one camera. Give it a second to load. That's Ocala. Let's go to World Center, see what's doing. Yep, that's a pretty one. That's a pretty one. All right, downtown Orlando, let's check in. Major C202 says a wizard is never late. Ah, but did I ever claim to be a wizard? I could be like the wonderful Wizard of Oz and just be a fraud, right? There's a look over at the Orlando International Airport. Let's head over to Daytona. See what's doing here. How pretty is that? It's so funny though. Like you can just tell a winter's day. It has that look. There's definitely a look of a winter's day. I like it. I like it. All right. Port Canaveral, check in with you. See how you're doing. Oh man, boy, we got a lot of ships in port. It's a Saturday. I guess so. All right, so it's beautiful out. Let's check the winds. Not a ton of wind. Hit that button. Hit that button. Winds. There we go. All right, winds right now. Yeah. Gusty at the shoreline. Definitely gusty at the shoreline. 20 miles an hour in Melbourne. Hello. Good morning, Brevard County. Wake you right up with a nice gusty breeze. First warning live radar. See what's doing. Nothing showing up. Love that. All right. Forecast for the day today, though. With an onshore wind, you can probably bet you'll get a sprinkle trying to pop on in. Nothing too bad. Less than 10%. Look at those temperatures, though. After a chilly start, we're rebounding. 70 degrees by lunchtime, 73 our 3 o'clock temperature. So there we go. We're looking good. We're looking nice and I don't want to say warm because the reality of the day today is that we're actually still quite below average. Case in point, today's forecast temperatures, okay? 73 in Orlando, 73 in Claremont, 72 degrees in the Villages. Notice, though, top left corner, average high, 76. We're still running below that. So it's warmer than it's been, but yeah, yeah, warmer than it's been, right? So, all right, we're looking pretty good. This weekend's forecast basically puts high pressure to the north. That's what's giving us this onshore wind flow. Very comfortable temperatures, though we do start to warm up a little bit for tomorrow out ahead of our next weak cold front. I say weak because it's not throwing like a massive frigid chill in, but nevertheless, it is a cold front. And that cold front is going to make some changes. So let's take a look at Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast. And you'll notice today, 73 degrees our high temperature. Tomorrow, 81 degrees. Monday, 80 degrees. And then Tuesday, that's when that next front brings in the real opportunities for rainfall. With that 60% coverage of rainfall. And then boom, the temperatures drop. 73 on Wednesday, 75 on Thursday. Notice the morning lows are not going to go significantly lower. 61 on Wednesday, 56 on Thursday. So it's not a dramatic shift. We can do like the Bachelor, like the most dramatic cold front. It's not going to be that. But it's still going to, think of it not necessarily as a cold front bringing the big chill, but rather think of it as we're popping the heat bubble. So, right as we're getting into the 80s, boom goes the dynamite. We drop that right back down. All right. So, for our weekend forecast as a whole, all right, today probably going to be the better of the days. I only say that because the temperatures are going to be beautiful both days, but tomorrow we'll add in some clouds and even a sprinkle or two. Both days are not looking bad, but today may just be a tick better. Just a tick. Just a tick. It's okay. I think this is great weather no matter how you slice it, right? That's just me personally, though. Yeah. All right. So what are we tracking? Let's go over a couple of these headlines, okay? Nice chilly morning, comfortable afternoon. I've got this pullover. So I've got this morning I'm wearing it's Santa with palm trees. I don't know if you can see. It's like Santa with palm trees. But I've got the pullover because it's chilly outside. It's it's cold. So anyway, through the afternoon, turning pleasant. Tomorrow we get warmer, and then into Monday, Tuesday, the opportunities for rain start to return. So let's look at this. We'll dive in and go as far out as our Futurecast will go. And just kind of get an idea. All right. So here we are for today. Now, the model is trying to dial in a few showers. And as I said, with a gusty onshore wind, you're probably going to get a sprinkle or so. It's not going to be a significant shower chance, but I would be super shocked if we don't get a sprinkle showing up on the radar today. But I digress. All right, so that's through today. Da, 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 da. Winds start to shift around. Here's your Sunday. Look at tomorrow morning. I'll be back in the weather center tomorrow morning. I've got a super short work week. So because of Kellyanne leaving, our schedules got all kinds of turned around. And because of that, basically I've got my week. I did get Thanksgiving off, but I usually put in for the whole week. So anyway, I've got next week off instead of this past week off. Part of next week off. So anyway, so I work Sunday, I work Monday, and then I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So anyway, I'll be with you tomorrow morning. Long story long, I'll be with you tomorrow morning. So here we are, starting our Sunday off. Oh man, is that looking nice? It's going to be clear. It's going to be comfortable, not as crisp. I mean, it'll be cool, not as cold though. So that's looking beautiful outside, right? Into the afternoon, maybe a sprinkle or two showing up. We're adding in a little bit of humidity. We're adding in a little bit of moisture, so it's not a bad one at all. That's our Sunday. Then Monday, more clouds into the mix, right? That's going to be thanks to that cold front moving in, and that's as far out as our Futurecast goes. But if we were to look at I'm just going to pop over to the Euro. This is what we did yesterday. Give me a minute. Hit that button, hit that button. All right. And turn off the clouds. All right. So, what just model initialization purposes. Like let's just take a minute here and look at the wide shot because as we're looking at that model, big old, it's so funny because like just looking at Florida, you have to sometimes stop and see the forest through the trees. Like, look at Chicago, look at Kansas City. Our friends up that way, they've got a big old snowstorm. Ugh. Tim, you okay? You getting ready for some snow? Judy's asking if I'll be doing coffee talk. Baby cakes, I'm off today and I'm doing coffee talk. You better believe I'm doing coffee talk on my day off. Absolutely, we meet. We meet at 8 o'clock. 8:01, 8:02, depending. But yeah, absolutely, we meet up. Absolutely. Laura says, good morning, everyone. My family in Iowa would love this weather. They're all having a snowstorm, also way colder than us. Well, yeah, I mean, look at that. You bring up Iowa, it would be kind of fun to check in with our sister. So, Winter storm warning, heavy snow Saturday. That's the headline on kcci.com, which you know what that means. That means it's time for us to check in with our sister station. So give me a few seconds. All right, do this, do this. Exit out of you, hit that button. Yes, there's an advertisement for GoDaddy. All right, so this is KCCI. So what I'm doing is I'm previewing up KCCI, which is our sister station in Des Moines, Iowa. Just because we saw that snowstorm, it's always a good idea to take a listen to what's going on. Jeannie Rowan says, grew up in Iowa, left at 18. I mean, if the weather on the weather map says anything like what you would expect up there, then yeah. We do not have one in St. Louis, no. All right, I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to bring it full screen. All right. Let's take a listen to David at KCCI.
Anticipate that snow is going to pick up in intensity here soon. Algona snowed in. You can see a really heavy layer of snow on the cars there that have been parked on State Street. So things have been a little bit heavier there across northern parts of the state. Snow still coming down right now here in downtown. Temperature sitting at 26 degrees, so certainly cold enough for that snow to pick up and accumulate efficiently. You can see the snow is heaviest right now just to the north of the metro. We have light snow here around town, but the heaviest snow is stretching here from Omaha and Atlantic over toward Audubon, up into the Ames, Iowa Falls, Webster City area, right over Boone at the moment. You can see those dark blues. That's likely some snow that's coming down around an inch per hour. So that is the kind of snow that really piles up in the roadways quickly. So the roads around the metro at the moment, because of this lighter snow, are okay. But when that heavy band starts to move into the metro, we will see conditions run downhill pretty quickly. So we are sitting in the mid-20s here all around town. Most of the state, in fact, in the mid-20s, 23 in Algona to 27 in Sheridan, with that southeast breeze about 15 miles per hour. So that is blowing the snow around just a little bit. Only a couple of snow reports in so far here this morning. I know not a lot of people up out and about and measuring that snow, and stay home for sure. But already 8 inches in Fort Dodge. We'll see those numbers as they trickle in here later this morning, Jason.
Yeah, and those numbers are going to continue to pile up. I mean, we're talking difficult conditions now, but we haven't even seen the brunt of the snow make its way in yet. So strong stuff is going to continue to push through. And you can see behind me, as David showed all the other cameras too, that snow is coming down. It's obscuring visibility a little bit for us out there as we speak. And you look at areas like Algona and Marshalltown, and you can see just how snow covered some of these places already are. I was driving around last night. Didn't take much more than a quarter to a half an inch to make those roads very difficult to travel on. And we've got a whole lot more where that came from. You can see a slug of moisture pushing its way into Omaha right now in that stronger band, heading all the way upwards towards Webster City. Metro, again, as David pointed out, not quite in the thick of it yet, but in time here, we certainly will be. You can see the heaviest snow still yet to come. Areas to the south, Creston downwards towards Lamoni by 9 a.m. You've got snowing pretty well there. 3 p.m., that axis of the heaviest snow starts to shift into eastern portions of the state. And then we're going to kind of wind this down a little bit as we head in towards the evening hours. Cold temperatures, though, are going to linger, so any of those spots on the roads
see these temperatures
that did become slushy because of the higher traveled areas.
You guys see these temperatures? He's talking about 15 degrees in Des Moines. Also, Jason, this is their chief meteorologist. I mean, I've worked with Jason for 15-ish years. It's really cool. He's grown so much. Dude's good. I love it. Really great to see. Anyway, wow. Okay, so not going to necessarily say that I want to hate on my friends up there in Iowa, but as Taylor says, hard pass. I would agree with that. Look at you, Jason. Jason's a chief now. I remember when he and I were doing weekend mornings together, and look at how much he's grown. It's so neat to see. Also, they're obviously on the old graphics package. We launched them in a couple of weeks. They're a part of our last group. I saw it and I was like, wait, did we not launch them yet? I forgot we haven't launched them on their new graphics package yet. Frank says, I wouldn't leave the house and I would burn everything. Yeah. So, wow. That's awful. There's just nothing good about that weather for them or for us. So anyway, good gravy. winter storm warnings, all kinds of that stuff. So here's the weather map showing that big snowstorm. And this all kind of just got started because I was like looking at the model and I was like, oh, look at that big old deal. So yeah, Holly says, I don't miss it at all. Nope. Nope. Tim says, furnace issue at my house. It's 61 degrees inside this morning. Good gravy. Tim, you had better bundle up for safety. I switched from the protein shake because I'm up a little later. We've gone to coffee now. Yukon says it's Iowa. They probably are in the top 50. No. No, they're not. Although they're bigger than you would think. Truth be told, Yukon, they're bigger than you would think. But no, they're not huge. We look at maximum and minimum temperatures. They look at maximum snowfall. Not my cup of tea. Kimberly says we're camping at Fort Wilderness and it feels so great. Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Nicole says my body's too old for that. Yeah. All right. So that snowstorm moves into Chicago. Let's just roll this through time. Look at that. Like a nice heavy snow. Ooh, Chicago's going to get that actual low. Like the actual storm system is going to go right through Chicago. Ugh. Boy, oh boy. And then they get that colder air moving in. Now, yesterday we were talking about the rain snow line being just outside of the city. Isn't it funny how different that is? Cleared right out of them. There's another snowstorm. Okay, there's Tuesday, December 2nd. Just for fun. Like, this is where I years and years and years and years ago, I interviewed in New York City as a meteorologist. And I remember this was the hard thing. Like, where does that rain snow line set up? And it's like just outside of the city. You know, like heavy rain. You get that rain snow, like, look at the difference. Half of their market gets rain, half of their market gets snow. That is so difficult to forecast. Isn't it? Like most of your people live in Manhattan, right? Or at least the biggest density population. Ugh. That's not fun. Julie Campbell Wood says Chicago is slated to get 14 inches, I read this morning. Well, I don't have a station in Chicago, but we can also check in with our sister station. Let's see here. This is our sister station in Milwaukee. Let's check in with them and see what they're talking about. Stand by. Let me put that in. Hit that. Turn that on. Yeah, that's fine. Let it run its commercial. That's fine. Oh, how funny. It's the same commercial. Huh. All right, let's listen in.
Of course, we're keeping an eye on the roads for you this morning. We want to switch things out to News Tracker 12 here in Kenosha County. 142 Burlington. You can see we got some snow on the roads there, and the snow is coming down, Lindsay.
Oh yeah, definitely coming down. You can see it's starting to cover those roads a little bit.
Yeah.
This is very fluffy snow. That is the slickest kind of snow to drive in. When it's wet, you get a little bit more traction out of it. So, and I do expect the snow type to flip-flop through the day. So just be aware of those changing conditions. So this is our timeline. The snow is moving in. This is exactly on time with what we were expecting. Now the snow is going to become more steady for everybody from about 7 to noon. Now, if we get any air pockets or some dry air, we might see it briefly stop for a moment, but it's going to fill in. And at this point, it's mainly going to be fluffy. Then from noon to 7, this is the peak intensity. This is when we have the potential of lake effect coming in as the winds start to shift in anticipation of that area of low pressure. When this happens near the lakefront, your snow is going to go from fluffy near the lake and it's going to flip to a wet type of snow, which is going to compact everything. And you might be thinking, okay, that means the lower snow.
If I may add, like, wow, what a difference the graphics package is, right? All right, back to Lindsay, sorry.
It drives those numbers back up, which still keeps everybody in a 6 to 10 inch range. Overnight into Sunday morning, we flip back to fluffy snow, and we'll still likely have slick roads through the day. The snow ends early Sunday morning, but there will be hazards after it. The winds will be out of the northwest 20 to 30 miles an hour, which could take that fluffy snow and blow it around back out onto the roads. So be very cautious of this. Here's our snow. It's starting to build in. You see that pocket of dry air? It is filling in with moisture. This is a very large area of low pressure and weather system. The low is going to go right underneath Milwaukee, in between Milwaukee and Chicago. So we do get some of these intense bursts of snow through the day. There's News Tracker 12 right now. I just love showing this. But you can see we do have some of the more intense snow that is starting to pick up near Janesville right now, a little bit near Delavan. This is going to continue to fill in as we go throughout the morning. Everybody is going to be under a winter storm warning starting in 12 minutes. So we all are under this for today. That should be no surprise to you. We've been talking about it for days. These are the areas that could see that lake effect enhancement with winds turning out of the southeast. This is also the area that will likely kind of flip from fluffy to wet and back to fluffy. So you're going to have changing snow conditions.
It's so interesting to me. Like, I work on the graphical templates, right? But it's just so interesting to see what forecasting winter weather is like. You know what I mean? And it's just, I mean, listen, we live in Florida, and there's a reason, probably a reason that we all live in Florida. So to that point, I would say that there's probably a reason that we left snow. I mean, I never necessarily lived in a snow area, but like just watching this forecast, I think to myself, what would that life be like? Because I have never in my life lived in a cold weather climate where snow is a thing. It's just never been a thing. Kristen, well, sometimes we have crutch phrases, and there's always wonderful viewers that remind us of that. Bruce, why are we seeing this? I'm not interested in Boston. We're just talking about, first off, this is not Boston. This is Milwaukee. But second off, there's big snowstorms. So we're just talking about it. We're just talking about the weather. There's no rundown of sorts. We just talk about some things. So anyway, oof. Isn't that something? Bruce says, believe me, it stinks. Yeah. Anyway, Lindsay, you keep doing your thing. Meanwhile, here in Central Florida, this is a much, much better forecast. Tanya says, I miss snowmobiling. I'm sure you can go fly up there and do your thing. No snow here. My brother Frank says that my crutch phrase was frankly earlier in my career. Love that. I feel like I had a bunch of them. I feel like I had a bunch of crutch phrases. We all do. We're all human. The difference is that when you're on the air, you have so many nice people that let you know every little flaw of yours. Thanks. We're human. Okay. So great. Terry Ann says, drive on snow-covered roads and you never know if you're going to get to your destination or not. That's rough. You shut your mouth, Chris Pierce. I used to live in the mountains of Virginia, Randy says, and during the winter it would get very cold and snow quite a bit. Winter isn't fun. Yeah. Taylor says he still uses frankly. That's a current career thing, friend. Thanks, you guys. How did this turn into that? How did this turn into a let's beat Burris up thing? Laney says, I've never have I ever driven in the snow. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Good times. With the snow impacting hubs, I bet the airports tomorrow will be a nightmare. Well, let's check. I mean, we haven't even looked at the airport report today. Orlando International Airport, for example, showing some delays, a little bit rougher than you'd like to see. 32 delayed flights. I'm sure that that'll be particularly beat Burris. How do I do it? Thank you, Yukon. Love that. We love you. This is why. Evelyn, you're right. Love you too. Taylor says your brother started it in my defense. Always. Always. Chris Pierce. Well, if you'd go to the ENT, you don't say frankly as much. That's like slapping the dog on the snout, like that sort of thing. I feel like yeah. Okay. My bad. First snows are pretty. After that, icky. Yeah. Well, in Florida, it's kind of like the first. That said is another Ericism. Well, why are we doing this? You guys don't have to track the Ericisms. Ted says, when I was 10, I delivered newspapers in the snow. And let me guess, uphill both ways. Is that about right? I know, Chris. My love language is the same way. So anyway, that's where we're at. So we do have some storms coming into the forecast. Some showers. I wouldn't go so far as to say some storms, but some showers into the forecast for Tuesday. So there's that. Fakakta. Yeah, there you go, Yukon. Go to the NT when you're off next week. So Tuesday. Oh, I wanted to look at Futurecast just to get an idea of Tuesday. Because I wanted to fly all next week. Oh yeah, I broke this thing. I'm so mad at myself for breaking that. All right, long range. Turn off the clouds. Turn you off. Turn you off. All right. Monday, Tuesday. So I wanted to look and see if I was going to be able to fly on Tuesday. That's what I was just. This is a me selfish thing, but here we are. Maybe some showers. All right, maybe a breakfast flight. Let's see how that plays out. Looks like breakfast. Looks like if I want to fly on Tuesday, it's gonna have to be a breakfast or afternoon. All right, we can do that. If you don't get a red nose or a magical reindeer, you fly. Jeez, you can fly to the ENT. Jeez, Louise, you guys. All right. Louise says, born and raised in Jersey, don't miss the cold and snow at all. Love our short cold fronts. Right? Like it's just like a little taste of something special. That's perfect. So fun. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, anything at all? We looking good? GD Rowan. Oh, that's a lot of not dry. Nicole says Eric should take all of us on a flight. Maybe I'll make a little video or something and I'll just kind of talk you through it. Sure, I'll do that. Sounds like fun. All right. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, anything. I miss the frozen ponds and playing hockey in the winter, but only temporarily. Yeah, and then your brain comes to mind, right? What makes a news station a sister station? Well, we are owned by Hearst Television. That's our genuine sister stations. So, for example, if I made graphics for a weather department, like going back to Milwaukee, like these graphics I made. So, yeah. So, of course, after the advertisement. But that's what makes a sister station a sister station. Hearst Television. So, like, looking through these are the graphics that you're seeing on WESH. Here's their 7-day forecast, for example. See how that looks the same, but like way worse than ours? Same graphics. Yeah, that's what makes a sister station a sister station. That's their 7-day forecast. Comparing, that's their 7-day forecast. This is our 7-day forecast. Basically the same look, just a little different. Yeah. All right. Are we good? Are you good? Evelyn says time to switch to winter clothes again. Well, and then you'll be back to like some comfortable clothing for tomorrow and Monday and even into Tuesday and then back. We're just going around. It's okay. We can handle it. All right, people. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week. Chat about what's going on in the world of weather and doing the life thing. Jeannie Rowan, hints on the drive-through guest. No. No, I've asked for the BSR 4 times. I'm not good. Oh, the BSR 4 times. You don't want to mess with Yukon. Okay, stand by. Stand by. Yukon getting mad at me. I don't want Yukon mad at me. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I'll stop. Yukon asked for it for four times and was polite. Didn't use all caps. That's the thing. See, Yukon, if you had used all caps and said, "No, I've asked for the BSR 4 times. I'm not good," I wouldn't have done it. But just because you asked nicely and I finally saw it, that's the thing. I didn't see the other ones. Finally saw it. So, okay. The BSR. Just for you, Yukon. Let me pull out my phone so I can do the calculations in my head. Just for you, God. Chris says I'd use all caps. And see, and I would ignore you, Chris. All right. I don't think you should do it now anyway. Matthew says I don't think you should do it now anyway. That's so funny. I love that. Jeannie Rowan, Meanie, still love you. Love you too. Lawrence is asking for an end of hurricane season party. Yeah. Yukon says, glad you didn't see Taylor's all caps version. I typically ignore Taylor just as a rule anyway. All right, so what is this? What's this? What's this? Do. 6th, 7th, 8th, little storm system through the deep south, cold front. That's like a squall. That's kind of just like a nasty, disturbed weather pattern there across the Gulf Coast. 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's right around, it's so funny. This is right around OUC. We had talked about this. This is a storm system, cold front, like right around OUC. No, I'm sorry. That's after OUC. Hold on. Let's back this up. Hold on. Hold on. Pause. We didn't even look at like the raw model data either. We've got the OUC coming up. So we also before we, we're doing the BSR and that's all well and good, but let's just pause for a second on that and look at like raw model data. All right. So the Orlando half marathon, the OUC Orlando half marathon, that is Saturday the 6th. That's the GFS right now. Kind of warm in the morning. It's really backing off on that front until that 8th, 9th, 10th front that I just showed on the BSR, right? Let's look at the European. At least the European is a little cooler, but notice, if you're not going off of raw numbers, which you shouldn't because this is guidance, not gospel, but it's a little cooler, but it's still the warmer of the days. So at the moment, OUC is looking a little warm. Yeah, sorry about that. Now, how does that actually play out? I mean, it looks comfortable here, but starting to warm. Yeah, the OUC would look warm on the BSR. All right, just had to check. Okay, then there's a little storm squally weather there. What is that? 10th, 11th, 12th. So that's right around or right before Share Your Christmas. Yeah, right around Share Your Christmas. Couple days before Share Your Christmas, a little front, and then starts to. Now, this is very interesting. Very. What are you? 15th, 16th, 17th of December? What are you? I'm just curious. That would be like the very end of the GFS. Does it have anything? It doesn't really have anything. Yeah. All right. So that's the GFS. It's got nothing. Let's look at the European. Right there. That's the ninth. Okay, so the Euro's showing some sort of a Gulf low around the 14th. GFS is not. BSR's got a big low in that time frame. Chris, my word, that's a lot of concentric circles, right? So Euro's showing it. GFS is not. That's going to be nasty if it plays out the way that the BSR shows it, which it will. Interesting. So the GFS has not sniffed it out yet, for what it's worth. But the BSR is all in, so something's a brewing. Mid-December. All right. Also, I love when like the model shows it. Yukon, is that a late fall rainstorm? It's a something. It's a something. I'll tell you that for free. It's a something. That's as far out as that goes. Then we have to switch over to you. Another little storm system here. 18th, 19th, 20th. So before Christmas front. This is just before Christmas, warming up before Christmas. Christmas looks warm. Christmas looks warm. I'm telling you right now. Christmas looks warm. Write it in your baby books. Write it in your calendars. Christmas looks warm. How warm? We're not going there. But the pattern is Christmas looks warm. And then there's a front. Around or right after Christmas. Like Christmas afternoon into Christmas night into the next day. There's a front coming in around like late Christmas or just after Christmas. Yeah, Yukon, exactly right. So there it is. And then there's another little piece of energy coming in from the Gulf. And then we heat up just afterward. What are you doing? Why all of a sudden is the Gulf like, all right, we'll wake up? That's January 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So we look warm for Christmas. We look warm for New Year's Eve-ish, New Year's Day. But then like January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, another Gulf low. Now a lot can change certainly, but could that? So Chris, you writing all this down? You writing all this down? There you go. So there's your BSR report. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like any of it. Do you like any of it? Matthew's asking, how accurate can that data be even so far out? Not terribly accurate. It's pattern recognition is what we're doing. We're not getting into specificity. We're just looking at overall strokes here. So to that point, there is an element of accuracy, but it's not specific. So you just kind of look for some ingredients and go with that, and that's it. Block Odin, please. There you go. Fixed. Enjoy your parrot speech. Parrot speech? Like, imagine, I can't tell if Odin's a real person or a bot, but like, imagine being a real person that is like, I'm going to just troll people. So funny. Anyway, so yes, Matthew, it's about pattern recognition. Long range is a broader thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's just recognizing patterns, trying to identify parts of the pattern. The one thing that's crazy is, and I showed it to you a second ago, but it's just like when we looked at the BSR around the 14th, 15th of December had a storm system, did that a month ago. There's the Euro showing it. So when you see the models reflecting it, is some cool stuff. You know what I mean? So there's that. Very good, Nikki. Very good, very good, very good. Love that. Very good. Love that. Love that. Yukon says, thank you for the BSR. No caps, Yukon. What did I say? I don't respond well to that. All right. That's all I got. For realsies now, okay? Taylor says, thank you, Eric. See, he does actually like us. I wouldn't spend the time every day if I didn't actually like you. Everybody but Taylor. I actually don't like Taylor. A little bit of a pain in the tuchus. All right, people. Thank you. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you all tomorrow morning, starting at 5 a.m. on West 2 News Sunrise. And then, of course, Coffee Talk at 8 o'clock. Sound good? All right. Take care. Bye.